And
Alright,
it looks like we are off.
So Water going for the sanctuary start and immediately putting power gloves, and swaga1icous is getting 3 bombs from Link's house.
Okay, big value from both of the sets really. Getting 3 bombs this early is just very, very good because you can get through xWaltherIVx a lot faster. We are gonna see swaga1icous continuing with the up force uncle.
And Waterfall is heading straight into Lost Woods and foregoing the lumberjack check for now.
Yeah, a lot of runners do like to hold that one off until they get a boost, because then it becomes a little bit more valuable, basically.
Walter actually passing up the piece of art. Normally I'd grab that piece of art. It's in the like extreme early game. It's still like going to give you a heart container if you're really unlucky and only find pieces of hearts. But hey, it would be a couple of seconds lost to get it. So they're trying to win a race here. They want to get every kind of advantage they can get.
Yeah, absolutely. We did also see that Water decided to save and quit just after doing the drop down in Skywood, in the forest. That is generally, I think he did it because if there wouldn't be bombs in Link's house, he would have found some bombs from these 2 bushes down here. These two bushes have 50% chance of dropping bombs, so if you don't have any bombs, that's a really good place to go to farm. And we see swaga1icous unfortunately destroying the bush grab, so I have to wait and see what he gives us.
He is going for that early aggro check. Ooh, and there's a Cane of Samaya on the racing game, so also going to be going back around for that, and that is a kind of mean item behind Aghanim. It's the magic cape on the ledge. So we're not going to be knowing if we need it until quite a bit later. We're going to have to get in the dark world, check out that bumper cave for ledge, and potentially might even need it for spike cave. Potentially, not usually, but could be necessary. So tricky. It's tricky to know if you'll need it or not.
Yeah, that's a very bad location for that cape, definitely. We do see that Walter was a little bit lucky with getting bombs, 1 bomb from those 50-50 bushes, so that he still has the bombs for xWaltherIVx. So a little bit lucky there. And we get the map check. We see, oh, that was 2 vanilla pendants with Hera having a crystal.
Yeah, regular crystal, Hera, green pendant at Eastern Palace.
Is this even randomized?
I mean, it was even a blue pendant at Desert Palace, which is the the one we get in the vanilla game. So almost not randomized, almost.
Yeah, I did also see that the bar had 10 arrows, while swaga1icous is gonna head into blind and Water checking. And we found our first ford in blind set, along with the ice rod.
Well, and I saw this early almost guarantees that Turtle Rock is going to be our last pendant, but we can't find that out just yet. And that's a Titansmith in the back of Blind's basement.
We did say that we wanted a quick seed.
It's starting to head that way so far. A lot of the league races so far have had an absolutely stacked xWaltherIVx, so we've had a sword, we've had a potentially needed ice rod, we've had Titansmiths. It's looking fairly stacked so far.
Yeah, and even if Meyer and Turtle Rock wouldn't be required, that red cane can be used in a few places to make a few rooms just a little bit faster. And especially if Ice Palace is crystal, and depending on how the logic of the keys is there, you could use the Canos Maya there to skip out on one of the.
Now, the bottle fender only had a 20 rupee refund, so that covers all the xWaltherIVx checks. So, Cane of Samaya, Titansmiths, and Swords. That's pretty good, but it doesn't get us. Well, and of course the Ice Rod, but it doesn't get us too much right now. Like, the regular power gloves in the light world will get you pretty much everywhere that Titansmiths would anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. We would have to get basically Moonpole. However, they could decide if they find a hookshot that maybe I want to sequence break up into Death Mountain, which would be a bit of a value play, definitely.
It looks like Walter's heading over to check the uncle now, and probably going to do the front of escape at the same time, because he's got the sword. It's going to be pretty easy for him to clear it all out in one go. He's just probably going to avoid the dark section of pursuers.
Yeah, and he did also do the tier 1 triple. It was just giving green rupees today, which is the worst one out of all of them. Would I? Yeah, or
I mean, you're really looking for bombs or potentially arrows if you somehow run dry on arrows and you end up with early bow or silvers to really make use of them. So Swag's heading to the racing game now. He is going to check it like Walter, so not really gaining any time here. And Walter is indeed headed into the front of escape.
yeah, there's a lot of good items down here because they did the check. Yeah, they did obviously check the sanctuary, meaning that there is one key, one map, and a lot of items left in here. So just going the front here can give you a lot of information. And we find a Master Sword in the first chest.
And that's Aghanim access if he ever wants to go get that key.
Yeah, but at this point I wouldn't imagine we would be seeing that.
Not for a long time, I would bet. So Swag's going to skip out on the front of escape now. He already did the uncle check earlier, so he's starting his self-hiro checks instead. So he's going to miss out on Master Sword a bit. That's a bit of an early game offensive loss there. And if no other swords pop in the seed at all, you're absolutely going to need that Master Sword to beat Ganon. It's a really long and laborious process to beat the Ganon with just a Master Sword, but you can do it, and both our runners are experienced chasers, they can do it. Oh, that's a fire rod in the front of the dam. Both rods in less than 8 minutes, that is very unusual.
Yeah, absolutely. And just looking at the items, we're getting a lot of we have a big attacking possibility at the moment. And we kind of soon have all of the items needed for Turtle Rock, so we might see an early dip into that once we get to Dockwood.
Oh, there's a lamp in Zelda's chest in the front of escape. So that's a bit painful for Swag missing out on that to start off with. That gets Walter up to Death Mountain. Only a little bit of the checks he can do on Death Mountain so far, but he can go up there if he so chooses.
Yeah, and if you find a mirror or hookshot, there's a lot of stuff he can do up.
It also makes the back of escape play now for him even more appealing, because he can get into the Dark Cross without any issues. And but first he's going to check the 3 chests here.
Yeah, and then again, if the key would be vanilla here, that is a good amount of information with going in the front of escape first. Okay, so there is an item there, but we find a bow in Mini Moldon Cave.
Mini Moldom came paying off like usual, so early bow, early lamp, we could be looking at an Eastern Palace clear just for the pendant.
Yeah, absolutely. Considering that it's green pendant, you can turn that in very, very quickly. Although, I would rather wait for the mirror and the Dark World access so that you can kind of chain Pod and Eastern together. But yeah, we don't have too many places left after these Nixos X here, so heading over to Eastern is definitely understandable.
Just 20 rupees in the Dark Cross, so back for escape was actually nothing much at all. Oh, and Swag's got to watch out for those crabs.
Yeah, very, very nice that he picked up the blue mail in Mini Moldon before going here. Otherwise, that would have been an early game over, and that would have maybe isolated that Bombos if that would have happened.
I can help Bo. He's probably going to start doing things like Sahasrara and maybe Eastern 2 before heading over to escape. So And that looks to indeed be his goal.
Yeah, with the lamp there, we in logic-wise, Aga 2 and Aga 1 is in logic now. So if we don't find anything here, we might see either a walk up the mountain or just going into escape and doing that.
Going up the mountain is it takes quite a bit of time to go up there, but you do get the save point, and it's say going up there is so much less time than doing Aghanim or anything else. Essentially, Aghanim is going to be our last resort for runners, and they would be expected to find like Moon Pearl on the pyramid or something silly like that. And we're hoping that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, swaga1icous is headed on to Eastern now. There's quite a lot of items in there, and the dark rooms, even without the lamp, aren't really particularly difficult. Ideally, you want a bit of life just in case things get a bit out of control and you take some damage, but Swag's got one extra heart container. He's also got the blue mail, so he should be okay.
We did also find a lot of rupees here in Minimolum, so if you want, you could technically flipper to check out Sora and do all of those checks. You wouldn't be able to check the waterfall cave just because you don't have that moon pearl yet, but it could be a play.
Yeah, I think that's probably not going to be done until runners have a moon pearl, because otherwise it's just it's a bit of a it's fairly lengthy just to throw a couple of item checks, and you're going to miss out on a couple whilst doing the same process, so I don't think Walter's going to do it. But he may prove me a lie, we'll see shortly. He's going to get his bombers at least.
Yeah. So we have found one item so far in Eastern, and that was the shield, so there's technically 2 islands left in here for us.
Alright, Walter's saving quitting to Link's house. He's probably going to head east to Eastern now.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of stuff you can find over here.
There's quite a few other places in Logic for them right now. King Zor himself is actually in Logic because we've got the power gloves to reach him. So Logic doesn't care how much rupees you've got for King Zor, it just cares whether you can get to him or not. So he could still be holding an item, and we get a nice convenient big key there, so Swag doesn't have to go through the dark rooms for it if he chooses to.
And the team told us that there was some rupees in this Ace closet, so yeah, thank you game.
Yeah, that's a map in the big chest, so Swag's continuing on into the dark portion. So, if nothing pops up from the first few chests here, it's going to be tricky just deciding where missing items could be. Like, we're really looking for a moon pearl now to get us access into Dark World.
Yeah, and if it isn't here, then we're gonna have to imagine that we are gonna get something up on the mountain. We could either find moon pearl directly by the old man or in the Spectral Rock, or we find either mirror, hookshot, or the book. Those are right now the things that can unlock stuff in other places, as well as the flippers.
It's going to be totally unnecessary because in the vanilla big key chest of Eastern Palace, we found the moon pearl.
Alright then.
And so X actually going to continue on and clear out the pendants. I mean, he does get an additional item out of it from handing in the green pendant, so it's totally fine to do. And he knows that he maybe need a cape, so might as well get it out of the way just for safety whilst you're here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's actually a bit of a heads-up play from Swag there. No, he's not expected to be able to do these rooms because he doesn't have the lamp, but these rooms do have torches and he can just light them up with a fire rod instead to see what he's doing. But he doesn't know where there's torches are to even be able to light them up.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good heads up play there. Don't necessarily think that the randomizer teaches you, because in a normal game you have the lamp, so you just use that. But yeah, getting that kind of information is really nice.
Swag doesn't quite get the quick kill on the 2 red icons here, so has to wait for an additional cycle to finish him off and head into Armor's Knights. He's got plenty of hours for this, so this wouldn't be any problem at all.
Ooh, he stands a little bit too close to one of the Armor's Knights, knocking him back into it.
Because they got into, by getting into formation, they got out of the formation for a quick kill. The last one turns red and restores his HP, so down to 1 hour, but Swag picks up his compass and the green pendant.
So we're gonna see if he decides to turn it in now or wait until he comes back here with the mirror. Because you can easily save him quit and just do other stuff, because there's a lot of other stuff that is unlocked, but he's gonna go and turn.
I mean, he knew that the last item in the East was going to be the compass, so if he was going to get that green pendant, he would be handing it in immediately, just to get that additional item check done. And Walter's actually going to do the same thing, also go for the pendant. And all we get for it is just 20 rupees, so green pendant proving to be a waste of time so far.
Yeah.
Alright, I imagine Swag's going to do the front escape now.
I think that is more that he forgot that he didn't have the hammer and he thought he could enter the dark world from. That's at least what it looked like.
Yeah, if you've got tidal space, you can only really get into the dark world from one location if you don't have access to East Devon Mountain, and that, of course, is just north of Kakrika village. You just lift up the dark rock and lift up the small rock to get in. So that's where he's headed. On the other side, if you have the hammer but not a tidal space, getting into that Kakrika portal is still possible, but you have to go all the way around, making a circuit through Lost Woods to get it, so it's quite a bit more inconvenient.
Yeah, absolutely. Just having Titans here is really nice.
So 17 minutes in, Swag and Lissus is our first one into the Dark World.
And Walter get the quick kill on Armor, so that was a really beautiful fight.
Swag's going for the Village of Outcasts, yes, instead of Skullwoods, which is perfectly agreeable. You've got quite a few items out here in the open, as well as Thieves' Town, which you can clear out and get a bunch of items in there. You can dip into Skullwoods, you can clear Skullwoods because you've got the Fire Rod, but it's a fair bit more dangerous than the Village of Outcasts, so it's kind of 50-50 where you go, really. We haven't had a map check yet, though, to know where our pendants and crystals are in the Dark World yet, so don't know if Thieves' Town or Skullwoods are crystals yet or not. But that was a quick movement down in the sea-saved house.
Yeah, really nice find there, definitely. Because of how we have seen a pendant, at least for one of the Rock of Mire is gonna be a crystal, so just finding the medallions is really nice. And it looks like we're gonna have a lumberjack check here from Walter as well, so he's also gonna have that information once he resets. No, he's actually going up the mountain.
I imagine he wants to skip Lumberjack until he gets, well... Did he check it? No, it was Swag that checked Lumberjack earlier, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Walter just went straight into the Lost Woods when he started. So, Walter doesn't know that Magic Cape is there yet. And I imagine Swag's got to be pretty worried about that Magic Cape so far, but he's got an absolute ton of item checks to do before he could even think of needing it.
Yeah, you really have to hope that he finds a mirror or hookshot here, because otherwise there's not too much he can really do up here. Of course, there's a hint up here, and that one could you count that it is valuable enough to get up here for. But yeah, I don't really like the play heading up to Death Mountain this early, as he's getting impelled by the cabbages, as you said earlier.
Alright, Swag's got his big key. He immediately runs into Zazax to probably to death warp out.
Yeah, a little bit surprised that he didn't choose to look at what Stefan was before heading in here.
I don't think... there's a map check. So it looks like our last pendant is in Ice Palace, and everything else is a crystal. Swamp Palace was one of our 5-6, and I didn't quite catch what the other 5-6 crystal was.
That one was in Swamp. I didn't see what the other one was. But we saw that the hint in Spectacle Rock was actually about Quake. So thank you, game. Walter, where are you going?
I'm not sure where he's going. Is he thinking Aghanim access already?
Uh-oh.
Has he mischecked something? Maybe he's forgotten his Titans. Or a moon pearl or something.
Either that, or he's really hoping that Hammer is on the pyramid, I guess. Because he didn't also check Lumberjack, he doesn't know that the cape is there. This is definitely a gamble.
It's not a gamble, I really agree with. Like, he's got a bit of an advance over Swag right now because he's got that lamp, but the Aghanim play is going to cost him so many minutes now, and we don't know if it's necessary or not. Like, for practical purposes, the cape is only going to be used to check out Bumper Cave and possibly Spike Cave, but for Spike Cave you could also get the Cane of Burner to put it in logic, or you could just brute force it with a bunch of potions, which isn't logical, but you can do it anyway, so... yeah, I do not like this at all.
Yeah, me neither. So... the good thing that from this is that he will get a hint that we probably won't see swaga1icous get, and if it is a really nice hint about a unique item, then it still doesn't feel valuable enough though. But we did saw that the hint in Seaftown was that someone friendly had a unique item. That could be... oh, the hammer's in Skull Woods, alright.
That's a useful hint to get up here, actually.
Yeah.
Doesn't take me much time, but at least Wolf knows when he wants that hammer, he needs to head over to Skull Woods.
Yeah. He is having a good tempo in here though, so... yeah, not too bad.
Making use of that firewall to get for those red cards as quickly as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. But as I said, the hint in Seaftown was that someone friendly was holding a unique item. I am gonna right now path it down to the bow in the Minimaldon, but it could be talking about, I think, 2 other people we have not seen yet.
I'm not sure if the 2 grumpy fish count for being friendly. I think they do, but don't quote me on that.
I think he has 2 hints. I know that there is one that speaks about him personally, and you could also say that his hint can also be under the water, because that is also technically true. Ooh, we found a flute in Seaftown prison.
Unfortunately for Swag, he's not going to be able to check out the big chest yet. I haven't seen if he's picking up the map and compass yet first, so... he does have a small key, he doesn't have the map, so that's either going to be from Blind, or it's going to be from Big Chest, and if it's not from Blind, that's an item he's leaving behind here. Thanks to Hammerhead, I don't see any way that Walter is going to be doing Thieves Town before Skull Woods.
And we see a lot of blue balls on Aga 1 as well.
just going to put a sting into Walter when he realizes he's probably wasting time here. swaga gets down blind without too much trouble at all, only gets hit by him once. And picks up our first crystal of the race.
A very beautiful fight for him here. And Walter has just finished Aga 1 as well.
So Walter can get that cape now if he so chooses. Although he doesn't have the boots to knock down the tree, and he doesn't even know the cape is there to begin with anyway, so...
I mean, he technically have access to the east side of Dark Hyrule, but you would have that from Skullwoods, though, so...
He's headed straight to Catfish. He's got to have mismarked something on this track, I'm not sure of it now.
Yeah, probably.
I hope he takes a look at his menu, because Power Gloves and Titan Smiths were really early on, and I'm thinking he's just thinking I haven't picked up Titans yet, because you don't expect to have Titan Smiths like 7 minutes into a seed.
That is a very good point.
See how he actually went around and skipped lifting up the Dark Rock there to get to the Catfish. He doesn't think he has Titans.
Yeah, that's definitely what's going on. He is gonna be a little bit mad about this. And he's only rewarded with the 50 rupees from Grumpy today.
Question in chat, what is the number by the team names? The number is how many league points they've obtained so far. So in the Link to Post Randomizer League, teams are playing 2 games a week, and if they win a game, they obtain 3 points. So Old Swaga Jackson and Russian Nintendo Swaga both won a game last week, but they also lost their second games. So they are on equal footing right now.
Yeah, each week you are competing against the other team twice, so and there's different representative for the different matches. You get 3 points if you win. I think you get 1 if you tie, because I did see on the standings that was in another column for that.
Yeah, it's
and you can
1
see
for tie, and a tie is considered finishing within 2 seconds of the other runner.
We're gonna have to imagine that one will be quite rare. But we see accessing the blacksmith chain here from Swag.
And poor Walter is heading into Paths of Darkness without the hammer, and he knows where the hammer... Oh man, I am feeling sorry for the guy right now.
Yeah, at this moment, because he thinks he has only the power glove here, he has already been up to Death Mountain. He must be hoping that the hook shot is in.
Or Titans.
Yeah, that too. And we find the boots from the Smiths.
Yeah, Smiths are taking a sideline into level working today. So Swag's got the boots, he's got the flute, he is definitely going to be going fast in this seed now.
Yeah, absolutely. He's probably gonna check King's Tomb after checking this here. And at the same time, we did see Walter find a small key inside the first steam pod, so he's gonna stay here for a little bit longer. He also has...
He's going to switch to... Wait, I saw his menu. He doesn't have Titan Smiths. He only has Power Gloves.
Oh. That is big.
This explains a lot now, actually. It explains an awful lot. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So Power Gloves were in the Sanctuary chest, and Titan Smiths were in the back of Blind's hut. Wait, how did Walter miss that? I saw him going in there.
Yeah, how did he miss both of the gloves? With me? What? Well, he's gonna be mad about that one later.
I saw him heading into Blindside. I don't know if he had like run out of bombs or something. He definitely checked the 4 chests in the bottom. I saw him doing that, but I didn't see him checking the chest in the back, and I didn't see his bombs at the time. Maybe he had no bombs, and maybe he's hoping it wasn't an item, and there was Titans, and oh god, this is horrible
No,
for him.
no. He picked up the 3 bombs from Link's chest, and he got another bomb from the 50-50 bushes for a race game. So he should have been able to get that. Maybe he missed blowing up that one.
Chat saying he blew up the wall but forgot to check the chest.
Oh.
So, yeah, he's going to be thinking he's cleared out that chest, and he's going to be getting somewhere in pod, and if he doesn't find something that progresses him, like the hook shots, then he's going to be stuck, and he's going to be wondering what he's missed out on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, even if he finds something else that will progress him further, like hook shot, there is going to get him all that far, because eventually he's going to run into a dead end without the Titan's Mist, and he's not going to find them anywhere. So,
yeah, at that point, he would have to go back to places where they've been just to see if he missed something.
on the plus side, swaga1icous is now doing a fun of escape to get his lamp, and I see he's picked up silver somewhere whilst we've been talking.
Yeah.
I've been so distracted by this poor Titan Mist issue that I didn't actually see where the silver's... Looks like they were in Stumpy. Thank you, chat.
Thank you so much.
So Swag's got his lamp now, and the only thing he doesn't know is where the hammer is, but I think there's quite a good chance he'll be headed over to Skullwoods at some point, because it is a crystal, and he can clear it out with a fire rod, so he'll be getting his hammer in there somewhere, and then pretty much most of the race, well, most of the seed will be his for the taking.
Yeah, absolutely. And Vanilla didn't think he went into Skullwoods earlier just because he had that fighter sword, but now that it has the master sword, it makes the fight against Moth just 100 times easier. So yeah, I'm gonna imagine that is why.
Now, Swag is activating his flute, so get it 07 to chat for the Scourge of Hyrule is going to have to be unleashed upon the world once more. Right, Walter's looking confused now. I think he's going to go for a water walk here. Something neither of them understood because they didn't have the moon part at the time, and it made Waterfall Cave pretty unappealing. So he's now going for his isolated checks in the light world that he hasn't done yet, like these ones which are going to be out of logic for him, King Zora which isn't logic for him, and probably Agina too.
Yeah, I just watched back, and yeah, he blew up the hole and then saved the quest after the last test in the blind.
Oh dear. Oh, that's so unfortunate for him.
Yeah, because even if he goes back, he might see that the wall is blown up and think, I already checked that. I just gonna head up.
And 34 minutes in, you've got to do a lot of rechecks if you think you've missed something. So, luckily, Kakriko is probably one of those things he would start doing the rechecks in if he really thought he missed something. But, oof. So, Meanwhile, Swag's taking this purple chest on a bit of a tour. He decides to flew to the desert and take it over to the locksmith this way, which is not quite normal because oftentimes he just go to outside of the dam and take it that way.
I'm gonna write it down that he wanted to see what there's a ledge happened. That
Probably,
is what
yeah.
happened. Although I didn't check what it was during the time, so it's still a question to ask.
It wasn't anything important. I think it was just 20 rupees.
All right. And yeah, if we're gonna talk about logic here, Walter should not be able to be here technically, but at least good that he does something while thinking what could I possibly miss.
Yeah, he does have King's own logic though, because he can get up to him with just a power gloves. But not the waterfall cave, obviously, nor the ledge for that matter.
I didn't even see what was on the ledge.
To be fair, it was off on the side of the screen and I didn't catch it either. The King's Oil has a big scam, but that's to be expected because we know that progress is over in Blind Hut, so I reckon Walter's probably going to be headed down to Agina now, and when Agina doesn't cough up the goods, he's going to be very, very confused.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Swag's doing a few Dead Mountain checks now. I think he wants to get a couple of heart containers before he starts diving into more dungeons in the Dark World, which is fine. If you're not too familiar with if you're not too expensive for dungeons, they can be quite scary, and even in Blue Mail, the stuff in there is still going to do quite a lot of damage, especially something like Moffila, where the spikes don't care how much mail you've got, the spikes are just going to hurt anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Moffila be one of the hardest fights when you're playing this casually. We are gonna see a Meyer check here from Swag. So bombos is required for Meyer today.
And we got that pretty early on, so gonna be no problem getting in there. We've got Boots, we've got Samaya, and the Lamprey can finish it off. Even got Bo and Silvers to make Vitreous an absolute joke. And yeah, now comes the confusion for Walter. He's missed something, he knows he's missed something, and he is confused.
Yeah, gonna take... He's probably gonna head to Kakariko first, because that is probably the thing that is the longest. That is the first thing we do, because that is where you were first. So if you retrace your step that way from the beginning, you will be able to figure something out eventually. But yeah, forgetting to check that one location in Blind Hut, that's definitely gonna cost me. Because he's Swaglicious head into Meyer.
He's got a few items he can get here. It's Meyer's a not a particularly threatening dungeon. This first room in here can be a bit annoying with wrist ropes and such, but given he has Bone Silvers for Vitreous, which is the other most difficult part of the dungeon, I think he should be fine on his current health.
Yeah, absolutely. He has... doesn't he have the items needed to beat it?
He has got the Cane of Samaya, and he's got the boots to get over the gap, so yeah, he's got everything he needs to complete it. No need for hammer.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and even though Victorious has a lot of health, he generally isn't that dangerous when he has silver. So, I can definitely see the play of going. But yeah, eventually he's gonna have to path his way up forward Skullwoods to get that hammer. I can also see why he hasn't gone up there yet, because generally looking at the locations, there isn't too much really that's unlocked. Only the thing that will unlock for him it is Pod. Swag is gonna take a little bit of death here because of hearts, really. Gonna see if he's gonna want to path in again. He probably will. So yeah, we see the map tracker being brought up here by Walter just so that he can check what he have missed.
Yeah, we can't see that all-important Kakri go off to the side due to his cropping, but I've got to imagine he's marked it as done. He opened the door, he picks up the 4 chests, he marks blind sight, all done, nothing else to get in there.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough position here for Walter.
I don't have too much experience of map trackers, but it looks like he's unchecking everything and is going to be starting from scratch. Luckily, like you said, Kakriko is one of those things you tend to check really early on, so hopefully he'll recheck Kakriko really early on and go back into the back of the hut while seeing he, despite the fact that the wall is knocked down, and pick up that chest. Because the worst thing for him would be to see that wall and think, oh yeah, I did do this, I'm not going to go back in there again.
Yeah, and that could really cost him here, because you don't want to have to go over everything 3 times, basically. It looks like he's gonna path his way over to Eastern.
Right, he cleared out Eastern, he handed Independence, so yeah, this is just going to be more minutes lost for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a shame. We also see him, because he decided to do Aga 1, then the enemies outside here is just gonna be that little bit more irritating to deal with. Yeah, he's basically checking that he turned in the green pendant.
Now he's making sure to check back in the huts, even though he'd already bombed the wall, just in case he had done something silly like bombed the wall and not checked the chest. So this is good for him. He's double checking things that he might have missed out on, despite looking like he checked them. So hopefully he's headed over to Kakriko soon.
Yeah, that is really nice, definitely, because that basically removes our fear that he will head down in the blind side and not check because the wall is blown up.
If he gets inside the Smiths here, the one advantage he has is that he knows the hammer's in Skullwoods, and Walter's going to have to, considering how much time he spent here and on Agnum, he's going to have to put off some serious play to catch up here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, he's headed in. He's got to go downstairs, and he's got to go back through the wall. He's going both back through.
There it is, and a few frustrating slashes as well as, and an arrow also into the chest, just to let out his frustration.
I mean, at this point, he knows he's got to be behind, and that he's missed out on one of the most obvious chests, and that's whatever the other one is doing is going to be miles away in the Dark World. This is exactly where swaga1icous is right now, all the way over in Mizumaya. On the plus side for Walter, he can go straight to Skullwoods from here and pick up that hammer.
Yeah, absolutely. That is at least one thing that doing Aga 1 paid off for him, knowing where the hammer is. And Swag is not able to dodge that attack, that trap there, so he's gonna take yet another game over here in Mire. To be fair, it is one of the later temples you will do in normal play, so there's a lot of dangerous stuff in. And here we see one of the advantages of having Red Cane early. You can just not have to think about the give those in that room, basically.
So, if swaga keeps struggling in Mire, this is giving Walter a chance to catch up. How much time would he put Walter back behind by now, considering he's cleared out everything he could possibly do, and spent a while on his menu thinking about what he hadn't checked? I would say probably about at least 10 minutes myself. It is possible for him to make it up, consider if swag is if it's if Walter's dungeon execution is much better than Swag's. As you can see now, Swag is struggling in Maya a bit, so it's possible. Walter's still got a chance here, but it's going to be tough. So Walter's feeling pretty confident about doing Mothula on 3 hearts, so gonna see if he can pull it off. If he takes a death, then yeah.
With how much time he lost on missing, seeing out on the Titansmith, he's gonna have to do this really full in play. So I'm not surprised by this. And now we also actually see a place that we don't normally see in the randomizer when it comes to Meyer.
It's the fish room. It does have a small key in the pot, and generally, if you need that small key, it's because you used it on one of the doors that don't normally open. So, yeah, you very rarely see it. Maybe in something like Key Sanity, you might get somebody checking up there, but it's still there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Meanwhile, whilst we were talking, Walter already swatted down a morph without any issues whatsoever. Gets his first crystal.
I don't even think he lost a single health when I'm looking at his health pool.
He ran in with 4. He entered with 4, so yeah. Really nice kill.
A really, really good fight from him.
He knows he's got to pull out the good plays now, if he's got even a hope of winning this.
And we have see that Swag has decided to head down into the basement of Meyer. With Silvers, this is gonna be a very quick fight as well. And there is the hammer. In one way, I was a little bit surprised to see Moth, see what they decided to go to the Moth first, considering that he knows that the hammer is in here. And with the amount of hearts he has, he could have simply decided to go and do this first test here before going to Moth and do a Death Warp, because then he would have more health generally when fighting Moth.
I mean, the only time he wants to waste was a couple of sword slashes and an arrow at the Titansmith's chest. He's got to go first, so he's obviously confident enough in doing Mothula straight away, and that's what he did. And check the stuff afterwards.
And look at the health on the Swag. He's gonna have to be careful down here.
Yeah, he was getting bodied around by the rolling spike in the previous room, so.
Yeah,
as long as he doesn't get hit by anything else, he'll be good. You don't need much help for Vitreous, you just need to plug him with silver arrows.
Nearly getting hit by the shadows here while dodging the anti-fairy. And he gets hit by another one because he wants to take away the boot.
Yeah, he is really struggling in Maya. I'm surprised he's continuing with this because it seems to me like he ducked out on Skull Woods because he wasn't too confident with doing it, so I'm surprised he's continuing on with this rather than just doing some other dark roll checks, maybe get a bit more health or some bottles or something, because
yeah, absolutely.
So Walter wasting no time at all, he's already going into Beefstown, and with that hammer he can check out the big chest, so if it's got something important, this puts him right back in the game.
Yeah, at the same time, looking at what we have seen Swag be doing at this point, there is only really a few places left you can check, because of we don't have any access to the left side, to the right side of Death Mountain, so there is probably gonna head up into Skullwoods after this, and then he will get the hammer, and then he's probably gonna head over to Pod and finish that one off, where we might see our progression from Helmasor.
So I imagine once Walter's out, he's probably going to do the blacksmith chain pretty quickly, and he'll get his boots. And once he's got those boots and the flute, he will be catching up really quickly to Swag here. In fact, he's already going to get a crystal ahead, assuming he finishes Thieves Town, because Swag is unfortunately really struggling here in Maya.
Yeah.
He's coming into this. He's coming back into the crystal room with a bit more health this time, so hopefully he can keep it. Vitreous really isn't a problem with his gear. The most you have to do is dodge one lightning blast. But there's
then again, if you're quick enough with the silvers, you don't have to worry about the lightning either way. So.
Fortunately, dashing to the top room there, he did take a hit from the anti-fay again, so he's back down to 2 hearts.
This room here can also be a little bit irritating when you're low on health.
Yeah, the trick with getting past this anti-fay is to duck back into the stairs a little bit without actually getting down them, and that way both the fire snake and the anti-fay can pass by you without any issues at all. So, oh dear, Swag's down to 1 heart on Vitreous. If he gets zapped, he's dead, so he's got to be careful.
Yeah, that lightning went to him as close as he could, basically. Ooh, nearly hit by the lightning.
As Vitreous loses eyeballs, he casts his lightning blast more and more, but Swag's in a good spot now, just has to put 2 sapphire arrows in the big eyeball, and it's dead. And picks up a small key and his second crystal.
I do have the question, do you know if the lightning is randomized or if it's following a certain pattern of welling?
I think the lightning blasts have set like formations of where they can go, like with Aghanim, but I don't think they track the player as such. I think they just go wherever they feel like in the room. But don't quote me on that. So Aghanim and the Vitreous lightning is not something I've actually ever looked at the mechanics for.
So you basically said both there.
Alright, looks like Swag's headed over to Skullwoods now and will be picking up his hammer there, so this is good for him.
Water taking a lot of baiting from the guards here in the prison. He did have a hammer, so he will be able to check this as the Swag left behind. So, Swag doesn't have to head back here. That's good, at least, for him. So we are gonna get our second blind fight here from Walther. Blind also being a very good puddle master as well.
He's got quite a lot of new jokes in the latest Randomizer version, which I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, that one was about the desert being dry of yolks.
So I don't know too much about Swagalicious' experience with dungeons and such, but given his what he did in Maya, I don't think he's too experienced with them. So depending on how much problems he has with Mothula, this could still be giving Walter the chance to catch up, because Swag's not heading into this with any more health. Obviously, Swag hasn't done all of the light roll checks that Walter did because he didn't need to. He got the Titan Smiths much earlier. And Walter has done a huge amount of extra checks at trying to find those Titans. So he's got a lot more health coming into this.
Generally, what I've seen on the daily rates is, I think Water finishes on average a little bit faster than Swag.
Now, Swag there was moving the statue onto the switch instead of using the Cane Samoa, so I would definitely say he's not quite as experienced with dungeons as he could potentially be. So, although Walter made a huge, absolutely huge, brutal mistake, depending on how Swag is with these dungeons, like I've been saying for a while now, it's going to give Walter the chance to catch up. Because Walter has just been executing these dungeons with great precision so far.
Yeah, absolutely. We did also see there on Swag while he was pushing the statue that it was kind of a little bit of loop with the door there. That was because there is one specific pixel. If you stop pulling the statue on it, the statue won't go up further, so you have to push it down a bit to start getting moving again. Don't know why that's happening though.
Now, Swag's going to get his hammer before taking on Mothler, so if he's feeling gutsy, he can definitely take on Mothler with the hammer. It will do additional damage over his Master Sword. It's a much smaller hitbox, and Mothler is a nasty, annoying bug that flies around all over the place and often in your face, so...
And yeah, with also the spikes there that can also take that small hitbox on the hammer and block it, it could be very tough.
So, Walter giving us our first look at Hype Cave here. There's a powder in the front, lots of cash in the hard container in the back, and 2 hard containers in the back, so not a very good Hype Cave. Mostly a safety cave, hard containers and powder.
Well, I mean, because Walter has the smith, he can chain those 2 together, and so still see this as can be a value.
They can also root in the magic bat whilst he's taking the smith over there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
He does need the mirror if he wants to take the smith over there in the dark world, so he's got to have to take a saving crit. Max, no! Remind me, he doesn't have the mirror, so if he takes a saving crit, does he still appear in the dark world, or will he appear in the light world?
It will follow you even if you save and quit.
No, what I'm like, when you beat Aghanim, when you save and crit, you will pop up back on the Dark World pyramid, but obviously you come back into the Light World because you don't have the mirror. And as we saw, Walt just did save and crit there and pops back up in Sanctuary. Okay.
So that's I mean that part we're talking about the Smith still.
Nah. But that answers my question at least. You have to have both Aghanim down and the mirror if you're going to save and crit to the pyramid.
Yeah.
So Swag got kidnapped by Wallbuster, but he's headed back into the back of Skullwoods. Using the silver arrows to take out those Gibdos is a good move to save some magic here.
Yeah, and also switching to the lamp here for the first one also. No, you have to come from the bottom if you don't pick that one. There was not a lot of time left. Walter's gonna pick up his boots now as well. And he's gonna chain together the magic bat.
Alright, now the tricky thing with Morphle is that if you hit him into the spikes, he doesn't take any damage, and that's happened to Swag a couple times here. Frankly, yeah, he's also got some damage in. His health's looking good, he hasn't taken too many hits, and as I say that, he takes a bunch of hits. So, yeah, Morphle is one of the most notorious fights in Link to the Past for a reason. The spikes are random, it's really hard to dodge them with the moving conveyor belt.
Yeah, because when you're trying to dodge one and the trajectory of the conveyor belt changes, you could be delayed or pushed into another spike, basically. And we see a game over from swaga1icous.
Yeah, I think he only had a couple more hits until Morphle died, so that is really unfortunate. But he's going back at it.
It was not a lot of health left on him, that's one thing to say. These chooses, he could have stayed a little bit longer in that room because there are a few more pots in there as well, so he could get some more magic. And he gets pulled by the hand as well.
All these mistakes on swaga1icous' side are really giving Walter the chance to catch up here. They are tied on crystals, although swaga1icous has done a far more time-consuming crystal in the form of Misery Mire. Oh,
and he's gonna go and get the cape. I don't think he has checked the lumberjack, so I can definitely see why he went over.
Pretty sure he didn't check it at all, but hey, he has a cape now.
Yay! Okay, Zainad. So basically, Walter, forgetting, check, one location, mitts. I got a little bit challenge there to try to summarize 7 words of what happened in this hour. How many words was that?
It was 7.
Good.
So, this is why Walter's done things like Aghanim, where Cyclist hasn't done, because he was hunting all over for all those Titans mates, never found him. So decided, yep, I need to go to Dark World to get whatever progress item I need from the Pyramid or Palace of Darkness. Didn't find it there, so he ended up really stuck for a bit. Oh, Swag taking another death at Morphula.
Yeah, I'm feeling sad for both of our runners here for 2 different reasons. I do like Swag's patient here though. Or persistent, should I say.
Water headed back into the Dark World from Kakariko. Wonder where he's going. Is he going to check out Bumper Cave immediately just because he did Aga, he got that cave, might as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Did we see it from Swag actually? I don't...
He hasn't been up here yet, no.
Okay, so let's see if Aga was required then. Oh! Okay. So
wow,
basically, Water is in the lead.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Okay, yeah, Walter's in the lead. Somehow, Walter's in the lead.
Okay, so let's talk about what has unlocked for Water that he didn't do earlier. So, Ice Palace is now open for him.
Yeah, it's a pendant though, so don't really want to go to Ice Palace unless you're hunting down Hookshot, but absolutely need the flippers for Swamp Palace, whatever you do. And Swamp Palace is a crystal today, so flippers required, Aga required. Ouch!
Yeah, that is not what I expected to see there. I would have even put Hookshot on the mirror before putting the flippers here. Wow. But yeah, that's right now a big advantage for Walter. And give some congratulations to Swag in the chat because he has finished Muffs.
So he's the head on crystals again, and he spent a lot more time in the Dark World than Walter has, so...
Okay, so Walter
Walter
have already been here, and we didn't see what was on Sora LED, so it must have been something.
Alright, I barely caught it myself because of the really off the side of my screen. He's not giving us another look. Bad Walter, bad Walter.
Yeah, he's teasing us so hard right now. Okay, so generally looking at what it could be that he's going back here for, I would have to say Hookshot or Mirror at this point. It is the Mirror.
Okay. Swag doing a hype cave now. He's going to get a bunch of safeties in here, which is going to be good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Surprisingly didn't check this before doing the dungeons. He must have really been hoping for that hammer earlier.
I think sometime or another he knows that cave is behind Aghanim and he's going to check out Bumper Cave and realise he's got to do Aghanim, so he's got to take the time to do Aghanim, which is going to be like 7 to 8 minutes, so... but he is a crystal ahead of... well, he is tied on crystals with Walter right now. So,
at the same time, Walter had that big advantage with having done Aga. Yeah.
What am I saying? He is ahead on crystals, and it's the lengthy crystal bar. So I think pretty much the Aghanim is separating these two runners right now. Like the time spent clearing bar is probably going to be roughly the same as Aghanim for Swag. It's just going to be a matter of when Swag realizes he's got to go to Aga.
Yeah, absolutely. We are probably gonna see that as a last location though, because of where he is right now. Because he's I think he's already done both King's Tomb and the Bonk Rock, so yeah, he's really isolated that location at the moment.
What I was going to say there was Walter took just a quick swipe at the chest and the bottom of Tower Fair there because he knows he's going to have to do the basement now to fully clear the tower. And that's more time that he doesn't really want to be spending considering how much time he's wasted already.
At the same time though, when you saw the flippers there, and you saw that you got a cape from doing AGA 1, you do have to feel that that is quite good for. It feels a bit like best case scenario at that point.
So just a few hammerheads will take down the Moldorm here on the water side. Don't have to deal with the blazed Moldorm. Just gotta avoid being knocked off. And there we go. And
yeah, because as you said later, the hammer is doing the same damage as Tempered, it is really profitable just using that instead of having to do spin strats with the Monster Sword.
That's another Alpha 8 check from Moldorm, it's just shovel. So Swag's doing his Powers of Darkness checks now. Walter did a bunch of this earlier, trying to find those Titan Smiths. But Swag's going to be able to finish the dungeon, and Walter has to spend a bit of time getting back here to finish it off. So
yeah, at the same time, Walter did not have hammer when he was here, so this will be a little bit faster clear for Swag than it was for Walter.
Walter's now doing his East F mountain checks without hammer enter, so this is stuff that Swag hasn't done yet. There could be juicy things over here, like the only thing we're really looking for now is the hook shot.
And Ether if Turtle Rock is required that.
Ah yes, true. But that's just a run-in free chance at this point, so let's hope it's just going to be hook shot for go mode at this right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be checking out in due course with this routing here.
Yeah, right now the big item for us is the hook shot because that would unlock Swamp. With considering that one is our second 5-6 crystal, so that would unlock the big fairy on Pyramid. Advice to see some here from Water to choose the Paradox Cave before heading into Super Bunny.
Using that magic mirror to just delete the block in his way.
Yeah, that is a cool little trick in the Japanese 1.0 version.
It was patched out in later releases of Link to the Past, like in America or Europe. So, and even in the Japanese version, if you try to delete a block with a mirror in a dungeon, you are not going to have a pleasant time.
As someone would say, you're gonna have a bad time.
Ooh, Paradox Cave, a complete bust. That's unusual.
Yeah, consider that it's 7-6 here. That is definitely rare. So we're gonna see some more magic tricks here on Water with the disappearing blocks. That mirror must have been taken from Gruntall Stan's shack.
I've never watched Gravity Falls. Does Grunkle Stan do magic tricks in that? He's kind of got a weird outfit.
He has some very weird item in his shop. so I wouldn't hold it against him. So he's gonna say hookshot cave. He can technically only get one item in here, 2 if he decides to go to the floating island and just blind check that. So it's gonna be interesting to see what we get here. Just 10 arrows.
I've seen hookshot there just once before.
Yeah,
really
it is a very bad location for it. And we saw that Quake was needed for Turtle Rock, so he can not go in and clear it, technically full clear it yet, but yeah. But if the small key is not on those 2 who says at the right side of the entrance, then he can get further in. But that would be bad if the big key is over.
You don't need a hookshot for Turtle Rock as far as I know. Like,
Oh,
you
right,
don't need to
right,
hookshot across any gaps.
You're right, I'm thinking about a quick way to do that room.
Yeah, you only need the hookshot to do it in a quick way. If you don't have the hookshot, you gotta go all the way around. But you can still do it.
So we learned that Mimic Cave is not required, which is very good location for that hint.
I mean, it's right in Turtle Rock, so hey, you don't need to go check any other hints to find out what's in Mimic Cave. It's right there. So yeah, we're all just got to go to the south here, and then loop upwards and light the torches, and then wait for the platform to get back.
So yeah, technically hookshot could be anywhere in here. So let's hope he finds it very quickly, because we want to go into go mode. I'm a little bit surprised we have not seen any balls yet.
That is actually very unusual.
Oh,
So
we're
King
gonna get
could
the
be hiding
really cool
hookshot.
strat here. I just love that strat.
K dashes are always cool.
Yeah, it is.
What I also like seeing in the room that swaga1icous was in just now was using the cane smite and the boots to punt the block into position from the doorway, and then you just swing the cane to make the block shoot the projectiles and hit the crystal switch that way.
Yeah, basically making it a golf first strat. That's basically what I'm.
So there's a huge amount of locations hookshot is in now, and considering they actually had to do agonim against all my expectations, there's a chance that the hookshot could be on pedestal. It depends on the key layout in Ice Palace. If you don't have to go to the right side for keys, which you'd normally need the hookshot for, or some other means of getting over there, you can get over there for bomb jump, but it's quite a bit trickier than the usual bomb jump. But if you can clear Ice Palace without needing to go to the right side, hookshot could be on pedestal. I'm not going to count it out now.
Yeah, absolutely not. But then again, that would be what we also that we didn't get earlier when doing the introduction. As we said, we wanted a quick seed. So that would mean no Aga and no pedestal, but might look like we get it.
Walter's done her best to defy a quick seed. I regret asking for it now. Alright, swaga1icous is at Helmasaur now.
We have not seen what he gives yet because of Walter not having the hammer when he got here, so could be a cool item here.
And if it's not an item, it's at least a crystal.
Yeah, that too.
One silver arrow to the head of Helmasaur, and down he goes.
Yeah. So okay, so it was just triple bombs. looking at triple bombs, let's have a little bit of fun trivia for today. In Randomizer, there is a different strat for Helmasaur if you haven't found the hammer yet, and that is to use bombs, because they do damage to his mask.
Back when I first played Link to the Past as a kid, I had no idea the hammer could even hit Helmasaur. I thought the hitbox was too small, so I was using everything in my inventory, and then I saw bombs worked. So for years and years afterwards, I always used bombs on Helmasaur.
That's rough.
It's only like about 3 years ago that I realised from watching Link to the Past played on streams and such, you can use a hammer on Helmasaur. How did I never know this?
Yeah, I can imagine your brain stopped working for a minute when you saw that.
I mean, it makes sense because, especially in later Zelda games after this, you generally need like the dungeon item to beat the dungeon boss. It's not so much the case in Link to the Past because you've got a bunch of stuff like Vitreous, where it's really you only need a sword for essentially, and Maya doesn't even drop. Well, Maya has the game Maya, but then you've got something like Ice Palace, which has the blue mail, but Cold Stay requires the Fire Rod or Bombos. So.
Yeah.
So the trend of you needing dungeon items to beat the dungeon boss is kind of something that only really started with Link's Awakening.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I played Link to the Past well before Link's Awakening because as a kid, the game came out before the other one. So hey, so I didn't really peg that the hammer could be used for Helmasaur. But if I was to say like if I was going into Paths of Darkness blinds now, having never played Link to the Past before, I'd probably guess straight away that I would need the hammer for Helmasaur. So it would catch me out. Right, Walter gets his small key from the last chest for Laser Bridge. Goes to take the safety door just in case.
Yeah, if he would die at this location, Trinex, then that would be a little bit of a long way to have to track back through. At the same time, he does have power, so he would be quite good when it comes to health-wise on him. But yeah, always good to be.
He doesn't want to be taking any chances here. He knows he's already wasted a ton of time, and is probably feeling like he's ridiculously behind right now. He's actually not that far behind right now. In fact, he's probably about equal. But oh, he's getting messed up on these crystal switches a bit by that jumping pokey.
I would say that he is ahead at this point because the longer xWaltherIVx takes before checking what's on the bumper ledge, the further Walter gets. Oh, there was the blue cane. I missed that the first time around. We're gonna get hammer strats here on Trinex. That's always fun.
I mean, I think the reason why Walter took the safety door there is because of his magic supply. He hasn't got half magic, he doesn't even have any bottles. None of our runners have found bottles so far, so if he runs out of magic, that's him done. He has to take a death and go back to the entrance and get magic. But he does get through the first phase without any problem, so...
Although he's not out of gutter yet, he only has 2.5 pieces of hearts right now, so he's gonna have to be very careful.
Yeah, I think a Trinex bite would take away 2 hearts of health and just leave him alive, but no problem. Walter takes him down anyway without taking any damage. And gets a map, so...
Yeah, very beautiful fight from him there.
And now, Walter and Swaga are tied on crystals. But Swag is missing those flippers. I don't think he's seen them yet, so he doesn't know he needs to go to Aghanim.
Ooh, there's a hook shot. Alright then, we are in no mode.
Wait, does Walter have hook shot? Because he took the backstick back and he had the hammer at that time.
Remember, he saved and quit to deliver it with him.
No hook shot. Wow, okay.
Yeah, he's even quit to deliver the Smith.
So Walter has done like 2 save and crits this race so far. And made him miss important items. Oh dear.
And that did swaga1icous just discover the flippers. He saves and quits immediately and is gonna head to Aga 1 because he knows where the cave. We have a race, ladies and gentlemen.
Swag doesn't know where the mirror is yet. He hasn't been up to the King's Door area at all, so he doesn't have that mirror yet. He doesn't know where it is, and he's gonna need it for Swan Palace.
Although, because he's gonna pick up the flippers directly after doing this, he will get the mirror very quickly after that.
Well, it really depends if he decides to take those flippers to Zor, or if he decides to go do something silly like Ice Palace instead, or clearing out some of well, no, he can't get the Sword Palace or the hammers, but it would basically be Ice Palace.
Yeah.
Well, Walter's going to finish off his pod trip. He dipped into here much earlier, trying to find Titan's Mids, never found them, and threw himself for a loop, but so all he's got to do now is just head into the back and kill Hermosol.
Yeah. I don't think he had a mirror when he did the Smiths. That is why he is in this position right now.
But he can take the Smith into the Hammerbed Cave, and he can also just take the well, we can leave the purple chest outside and go to the Hammerbed Cave. So no.
Wait, didn't he deliver the purple chest?
Yeah, he well, I have seen the purple chest done, and it was just like 10 hours or something. I can't remember if it was Walter or Swag.
I think it was Walter. I don't think he had the hammer at that point.
Yeah, he had the hammer because like he went to the Aga Tower out of forced into there, so he got that hint about the hammer really early on. So the first thing he did in Dark World was go to Skullwoods and get the hammer. So,
yeah, I remember now. He did both Smith and the Batcave at the same time. Oh, that is huge.
Chat's filling in my rusty memory here. swaga1icous did do the purple chest, Walter hasn't. So I think depending on when Walter decides to go do that purple chest, he'll check out Hammerbed Caves at the same time. I doubt he's forgotten it.
Yeah.
I say I doubt he's forgotten it, considering he forgot the Titan's Mids in the back of Blind's Heart.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold it against him at this point, fortunately.
There goes Hermosol for Walter, so he may head over to Missing Maya and get that done too, and then he's probably going to be checking the rest of Dark World for stuff. So since he's got that mirror, he's probably going to be doing all the mirror checks like Graveyard Ledge, King's Tomb, with the Titan's Mids and Moods, etc. And probably the Purple Chest and Hammer Pegs at the same time. Just basically all those like kind of like Dark World checks you don't often do on your first time around.
Yeah. Walter is heading to my area. I can see that, actually.
It would be nice to find a tempered sword at some point too, and the bottle, because, well, actually thinking about it, without any magic refills and only Master Sword. Oh no, wait, he's got silver, so magic isn't going to be concerned for Ganon, so that's fine. If I've honestly had silvers, then they'd be in a lot of trouble for Ganon without any bottles.
Yeah, that would be very tough then.
You've got to pull off a person glitch, or otherwise you will run out of magic. But with the silver hours, running out of magic shouldn't be a problem anyway, so... Still would be nice to find a tempered sword though.
Yeah, it will make that fight about 4 times easier if he finds it. Yeah, just the amount of hits you have to hit him in between the Master Sword and the Tempered just makes it so much better.
There goes Agon in full swag, dealing with the equal amount of blue balls that Walter did. I've got to keep count. But you said it was a lot, right?
Yeah, I think we saw him do his lightning attack 3 times. But I didn't count the blue balls, which I probably should have.
So Swag's on his way to get his flippers now, and he's got the hook shot, so I think he's probably going to just go head into Swamp Palace before going up to Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
He hasn't done any of East Death Mountain yet, so he'll probably be clearing all of that out, looking for a tempered sword perhaps, and then heading into Turtle Rock, and then after Turtle Rock he'll be headed over to Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, we might actually see the rare occurrence where you would mirror just outside of GT to do Hera.
Oh yeah, he hasn't done Hera yet, so...
Yeah, I really want to see that, because we don't see that too often.
Right, Swag has his capes, and now he's got to go get his mirror to get into Swamp Palace. Mirror being on the Zora ledge, and I think he's going to get that pretty shortly if he decides to go to the Zora area. It's a logical place to go once you've got the flippers, but Swag's going to Kakariko instead. Headed into Darkhold. I guess he wants to root and catfish at the same time. I think it would have been faster to take the Aghanim portal at Hyrule Castle to get a catfish, but it doesn't make too much difference. We've got boots, we're running fast anyway.
Yeah.
Now, if Vitreous had eyelids, I would say blink and you miss it, because Walter's already taken out Vitreous. Honestly, eyeball monsters like Vitreous must have the worst case of dry eyes without any eyelids.
Yeah, although they are living in a giant pool of slime, so maybe that can be...
Oh yeah, just have to roll over a bit to moisten your eyes, I guess.
Oh, Walter might decide to head into the desert to find the hook shot.
Yeah, it doesn't take him too much time to clear desert, and if he finds, if he doesn't find a map and compass in Frontier, then he doesn't need to go take on Lam Merlis either. So
Yeah,
there's a map.
that was unneeded hint, unfortunately. Right now, the best thing for Walter would be that finding a hint that says that the hook shot requires the hammer, because then he can eliminate where it can be. We are gonna get a Turtle Rock already, and Hera from Swag here.
Well, he doesn't know where Mirror is, but this is a crystal dungeon so he can clear, so he's just going for it.
Yeah, at this point it feels like whoever we find the last item they need first will be the winner. For Walter is hookshot, and for Swag is mirror.
nothing in Paradox Cave here apart from heart containers and a fire shield, so I was going to equip Swag a bit more for Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
Where on earth are the bottles this seed?
I saw someone in chat earlier guessing that 3 in Ganon's Tower and 1 on pedestal. Which would be an hilarious one, to say the least. Ooh, we might see a gamble here from Water, deciding that Hookshot might be in Swamp. I'm gonna head there.
This is gutsy. I don't think he's done any of his like dark hole checks like the Graveyard Ledge or K45 Mirror yet, so I'm surprised he's going for this before doing those.
Well, considering that there is a total of 6 items in here, I can see why he's going here.
The best thing for Water would be if he finds a couple of swords down here, just to make Ganon completely trivial, and a tower for that matter.
We do also have a hint in here, so it might be that very blessed hint to tell him that the hookshot is hammerlocked. But at the same time, that would still make Water to go further in here.
Oh, that is a sore hit. That is a really sore hit.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, damn.
That's just like rubbing salt in a wound at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, considering that you need to get the gloves to even be able to go here at the first place.
Alright, getting a quick look at Hookshot Cave first before Turtle Rock. No swords in here. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So my biggest worry for swaga1icous heading into Turtle Rock now is that obviously he has no bottles, he has no harp magic, we have no idea where any of his things are. And I'm just wondering how comfortable he is with doing tridecks with the hammer and just a very limited supply of magic.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's already had a lot of depths in Misery and Mire trying to get to Vitreous and get Vitreous down, so...
And yeah, we did see when Water was doing it, when you don't have a lot of magic, like even with using the hammer.
Yeah, Water was down to pretty much like 2 uses of a rod left, and he had done the fight perfectly to that point, so this is going to be very much dependent on swaga1icous' personal play here, going into it, and I don't think he is too familiar with it, but no, never mind. He does have hookshot, so he can take the shortcut here. So I was about to call him out for not taking the long way around like Water had to do, but no, he has hookshot coming in here. He can take the shortcut.
Yeah, we're seeing him doing no really, not the funny strat, the fast strat rather for this room. So yeah, we might have to see how his execution in the temple here, or palace here in general. He's gonna take a little death here just so that he can get a little bit more health.
So unfortunately for Water, because he's checking left side swing for a hookshot, he's got to spend even more time on it than he normally would, because he's got to check out either the left or the right side chest here first, and then jump down and go back upstairs again, and jump down the upper hole.
To be fair, we have not seen any hints about Swamp Palace today, so yeah, that's what's making this happen.
Right, what do we have in a vanilla Mickey chest? It's a bottle!
Alright, that is a very good advantage actually for Walter at this point. Because Swag will not be able to get here till he has gotten the mirror, and you wouldn't check that chest in normal play then.
He's immediately checking that bottle as for sick kid, and hopefully for Walter he's going to go over to the Dark Portal and check out Hammerpex whilst he's here. That's a book
Oh,
for sick kid.
that might lead him astray.
Oh dear, he's floating away.
Yeah, it is leading him astray. He is... Oh, okay, he just starts through the portal as well. So yeah, he's gonna go and take bomb boats.
I think this is going to be one scene that Walter's going to be kicking himself for the rest of the week about.
Yeah, absolutely. I am gonna call it here. We have seen in other tournaments where someone would do a real forget one location. So we might see that, and we see a text box being dedicated to that, and we might see it today for Walter. One of the examples is the drop down in the forest. There we have that text box is dedicated to Andy.
Walter's going for a shovel now, while Swag is heading into the latter part of Turtle Rock.
Ooh, tempered for Walter.
Well, I mean, he's going out of the way to do checks that he knows we don't need to do for go mode, but they're paying off for him at least. He gets a bottle with blue goo, he gets a tempered sword, so I can't say no to those.
Time for Ether. He really wants that speed from the spin dash. The spins.
Much easier if you have hookshot, of course.
Yeah. There you get it. He gets at least to show it off once.
Swagless is on laser bridge, takes a couple hits from the first laser and then gets knocked off. He's going for a cane now. Trenny rupees from the sky.
You kind of want to know why I wanted this match to be quick. Because in about 15 minutes, the other match between these two are gonna start. Between these two teams, I mean.
Ah, right.
No, he's sending into eyes. Ooh. And we learned that the Big Ram Bomb, though, is not required at least today, so that's good for Walter. Although he wouldn't be able to do that either way, but, you know. Ooh, Swag taking a death in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, he took the safety door first, so he's fine.
Yeah.
I think Walter is determined to go overtime here and delay his teammates.
Yeah. Bit surprised that he didn't decide to take one of the anti-ferrets.
I think maybe he's hoping he can avoid damage from Trinex and just want to really keep the magic for Trinex itself.
But at the same time, he will get a magic refill before the boss.
Right, yeah, but you have to use the cane as well. Like, if you pick... He was out of magic, so he had to go get that magic refill. So he would have to backtrack to powder and anti-fairy, and then he wouldn't be able to get another magic refill, so he would have to use a cane and be slightly less than maximum for Trinex. So I can see the reasoning for it.
Yeah.
I cannot see the reasoning for Ice Powders right now.
Ooh, he's running very low. He missed one of the shots, he will not be able to do it.
Running low on health, gotta avoid those Trinex bites.
And he's out of magic. And now he will not be able to get any help from the anti-fairy because he's out of magic.
Not familiar if this room has any magic drops for him. If there were some magic drops, then that would be fine for Swag. But I thought for a second he was actually going to have a look for some magic drops, but it's not.
Yeah. I think at least he knows now that he has to use the hammer.
Yeah, Walter going for the bomb jump here, and yeah, if he's going for the bomb jump here, then he must realise that hookshot can't be up here.
Is he then hoping that the mushroom is here and that will unlock hookshot for him?
swaga1icous is missing quite a lot of shots on the fire head of Trinex now. Don't know if he's going to have enough magic for the ice head now.
Don't think so, it's considering that he's using Master Sword.
Yeah, I mean, I would just take the death at this point.
Yeah. At this point as well, the second phase will be quite hard because there's quite a lot of ice on the floor.
Okay, the swaga1icous has missed another shot and he's just killing himself now.
Yeah.
So Walter's still committing to Ice Pass. So I think the worst thing for him at this point would be to assume that the hookshot is on pedestal and go to a blind pull of that. He has to go finish off Desert first if he wants to do that. And I think before Desert he probably realised he needs to do some Dark World checks first with the mirror and everything else, and hopefully there's Hannibal Caves.
This is so far swaga1icous' best try.
He's using the hammer.
One shot, there he got it, he got it. Okay now. Come on Swag, you can do this. We believe.
He's still going for the sword here. It's safe, it's less damage, but it is safer. Ooh, takes a
Yeah, this definitely considering with how bad of the hitbox we have on the hammer, you have to stand a little bit closer to be able to hit, so I can definitely say that you should use the Master Sword here at this point. And he gets it, he is a legend.
Well done.
And we see a lot of frustrating slashes against Victor's dead body.
So he's probably going to head over to Tower of Hera from here, get his crystal, then wonder where Mirror is. I'm sorry for interrupting you there, that's what you're saying?
Yeah, considering that, I'm just gonna continue with your point because the thing I was gonna say was just unneeded. So, considering that he got the flippers late, I think that is what basically is making him go to these places at this point. Okay, okay then. He's switching out to the flute. I was gonna say he might just do the flippers. Oh, he's actually running up there. He's not doing uncle. Or the hobo, should I say rather. So yeah, he's gonna pick up his mirror very, very soon here.
Water clears out Ice Palace and gets pretty much nothing for it.
That's sad. So there he sees the mirror.
And Sax now knows he is in go mode.
Yep. He will not even talk to the scammer. Nope, he isn't, so he's running straight to the mirror.
He got pretty close.
Yeah, that was close, yeah.
But not 500 rupees for a sword today.
So yeah, Walter basically hopes for pedestal at this point, based on where he's going. Oh, please don't tell me that he did what he did with the Titan Smith. I quite like that name as he insert Pedtroll mode.
Walter, I think Walter's just going for the gamble of the century here, going for the pedestal pool instead of like purple chest and the hammer pegs and K45 and Graveyard Ledge and all that stuff.
Yeah, I would have to say that that's definitely what he's doing at this point. Which is sad for him at this point as well. But yeah, that was a very good fight from him though. And he gets half magic as well. Just to make the Ganon fight even easier. So we're probably gonna see that Swag is gonna go mode Swamp here, so he will not pick up that bottle.
Well, get your pedestal hype in, chat. Maybe we'll get a sword on it. Or maybe we'll just get
that would be fun. That would be fun if that's where Baru is. And we get the blind pull here as well. And that is a beautiful red pendant as well. And he gets 50 rupees for his troubles. So basically Water has made the seed into 100% seed. He's going to the Dark World here though, so that is a good thing.
The best thing you can say about most of the optional stuff he's done is that it has given him some fairly decent boons, completely unnecessary boons, but decent ones nonetheless, like a sword and a bottle. So it's not like a complete total 100% loss for him, but you know, doing the pedestal before stuff like Hammerpeg Caves,
yeah, and here goes he does the hammer pegs where the hookshot was. He's gonna go into go mode. So at 143.39, Water is in go mode.
swaga1icous, once he finishes swamp, still has to head up to Death Mountain and clear out Tower of Hair before Ganon's Tower. So, but Tower of Hair takes very little time to do, so he shouldn't have any problems there. And Walter's got to do... he's cleared out most of swamp already, so he's just got to go back in and take on Argus, and then he's going to head up to Ganon's Tower.
So, a question here. Which is faster? Go mode Hera or go mode Swamp?
Probably go mode Hera. I mean, really depends on if you have to get a key in a basement or not. If you don't need to get a key in a basement, and you don't need to in this particular case, then yeah, I'd say go mode Hera is faster.
Yeah, but at the same time, Water has a better sword here. It is even.
Yeah, that is going to make a significant amount of difference on Ganon. And swaga1icous just tries to go for boomerang strikes. Argus there, but doesn't really... doesn't hit anything.
Yeah, we are gonna give you the stats when it comes to the sword on Ganon once we get there, but yeah, it is a very big margin. And we are gonna see a strat here on Swag that has been dubbed turn-based.
Yeah, many Argus is never fun. I see quite a lot of people just, if they are going into this with Master Sword, just hookshot 2 of the puffs at a time and do a Master Sword spin on both of them.
Yeah, we even see people do that with the fighter sword.
So once one of our runners gets their final crystal, we are going to be running the big key guessing game in chat here, because we are running the bots and the whole guessing game for the league. So if you are a subscriber or have donated 250 bits to any of the Speed Gaming channels, you can enter our guessing game. Once we start it, just enter a number between 1 and 22 in the chat, and if you guess the key correctly, you get a spot on our very prestigious leaderboard.
Guys, don't get the guesses in yet. I've already seen a few ones have done that. Wait a little bit.
Alright, so Axe is going to be headed up the mountain now to go get Tower of Hair, and Walter's nearly at us. So we're starting it soon.
Yeah. Ooh, Swag nearly got knocked away from the duck there, but was able to do it. But as it looks like we will not get the cool mirror outside of Ganon's tower today, based on where Swag...
I think, yeah, he's just going to go into Tower of Hair first and then take the Turtle Rock Portal. Which is... I think it's faster just to go to the east side and take the Turtle Rock Portal and then clear outside Tower of Hair, but... you know, it's not like... it's not that big a deal for him. So given how close they are on the side of that, but it could be actually a very big deal, so...
Yeah. And there we go, Water is dead. No, Argus is dead, not Water. So, we should get the bot running very shortly now. There we go, we see the guesses coming in. What do you think it's gonna be today?
I always guess with 19. I've actually had quite a lot of luck with 19 in the previous tournament. 19 basically is going to be the vanilla chest behind Ice Armors, assuming you clear both the right side and the left side before getting to Ice Armors. I like Ice Armors.
I'm gonna go for a little boss play here. Based on what we have seen today from Seed, I am gonna say Tile Room, number 22.
So as soon as either Walter or Swag heads into Ganon's Tower, though it's looking likely to be Walter at this point, we are going to be stopping the game, so get your guesses in quickly if you haven't already. Remember, you need to be a subscriber to any of the Speed Gaming channels or have donated 250 bits to any of the channels to enter the game.
However, you can just guess for if you want to, but you won't make it into leaderboard if you guess right. And if there's no one who had gotten the right guess, it will choose one of the ones who are the closest.
Ooh, swaga1icous gets trolled a bit by Moldorm and gets sent down the level.
Yeah, 1-0 to Trolldorm. So I have a question there from Una Tox. Basically, the name under each runner is the team that represents. So, in number 1, we find a small key. In number 2, we find 50 rupees. And we are gonna see Walter do right side. Okay, that was a really cool one.
Because I was making the bot do its thing, I wasn't looking at swaga1icous' side, but it looks like he got the first Moldorm and got pushed off a second time, and now he's been pushed off a third time. Ooh,
yeah.
Moldorm is taking no prisoners today.
Absolutely not. Ooh, another time. Number 3 is red boomerang, number 4 is triple bombs, number 5 is 10 arrows, and number 6 is another bottle. A little bit late for that one.
It's not even a blue potion like the previous model.
Yeah. Number 7 is a shield.
And Walter's leaving that shield behind, so Bob's going to be pretty messed up if he gets over to him in the tower.
I think that was how Bob normally looked like.
Bob looks like a glitched out mess if you don't take the item on the torch. If you do take the item on the torch, he just looks like a regular anti-hero.
Number 8 is a small key, number 9 is a piece of heart. There we have it, number 10 is our big key today. And we see that one who gets to correctly was Rabbis10. Congratulations. Very fitting actually considering his name.
So it looks like the leaderboard right now is a whole bunch of people at 1 win and nobody at 2 wins yet. So still up for plays that leaderboard.
Yeah. So looking at the leaderboard, we see right now the ones who have had 1 win is Astronomer 01, Calibus, Cyberlink, Igrina, Ilius, Math Girl, Macro Grains, Rabbis10, RD Walls, Red Nulls, Sabertail, Tesla 24, The Saint, and Fear Agent. So, congratulations to those guys. And guys, if you guessed number 10 and you wasn't, maybe you wasn't subscribers or had donated and stuff like that, make sure to get it in next time because you might be blessed.
And as you mentioned earlier, we do have another race coming up on, I believe it's Speed Gaming 2 in very shortly, so do make sure to check out the end of this race though whilst we're at it.
Yeah. Basically, if we would go for the schedule, it would have started 7 minutes ago. Just gonna check it start.
I think they could have started because the if it's one of the teams playing again, they won't be using the same runner twice in a row in a week. The way the league works is that each team has 3 players, and 2 of those players have got to play once in a week, but no more than once. And all of the players have got to play a set amount of games in the whole season.
So it looks like they have not started yet when I'm looking at Speed Gaming. So they might be waiting. Either they're waiting or they just got started a little bit later as we did. And we see that xWaltherIVx is also doing right side first. So he's gonna have the same number as Walter.
You can check the chests in the style for some in a different order.
Yeah, that's true. But I do used to see people doing the left side of those chests first on average.
So whilst we've been talking, Walter has been absolutely blitzing through the tower. He's got no time to waste, even though he's wasted a ton of time already. But hey, got to catch up where you can, right?
Yeah.
So, Moldorm 2. Just a few tempered spins or slashes will take out Moldorm, and there he goes.
Yeah, Walter is gonna feel so relieved once he defeats Ganon.
Moldorm's last possession stays where it is.
Yep. At least for now.
I would have opened it. Just for maybe a bottle or sword.
So it was an 8 for swag because he did the right side first, just because I said he was gonna get the same number.
Right, we start off with a single Nagatu. I think that was just another single.
I think it might have been a double.
That one is definitely a single.
Yeah. Oh, that's a horrible place to be placed.
Okay, that one was a double. No, I guess we got another double.
Yep.
So 1 2 1 2.
So Swag is going through the gauntlet at this very moment.
I think it's got to go very badly here for Walter or Ganon. Like maybe a couple of falls for Swag to catch up, unfortunately.
Yeah, that would be what would be required at this point. Because in that Swag has the Master Sword. So, as promised, so the sword's difference when it comes to Ganon. So, basically, if you have it tempered, you are required to do 12 slashes on him to make him go from phase 1 to phase 2 and phase 2 to phase 3. If you have the Master Sword, you have to do spins because normal slashes doesn't work. And then you also need to use total of 24 hits. So, it is a significant difference. And if you have the Butter, it is down to 6 hits between phase 1 and phase 2. And phase 2 and phase... We are gonna see a double and try for Torch Glitch. Did not get it, but there is not much health left on Ganon because you only need 4 silver arrows to defeat him, and he gets it. Walter is gonna be our winner for this race, and he's gonna earn his team 3 points.
Just as long as he makes it across the bridge.
Yeah, we have seen players fall down there before. He doesn't though. He comes in with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 4 minutes and 11 seconds. GG.
GG.
So we're gonna see if we can get Walter in here. I'm very excited to be asking him a few very well selected questions to.
So, I think my favourite thing about the seed was just the aghanim. You think it's not required, you think you're not going to need the cape, and then it is 100% required, no way around it. I'm still doing a double take about it hours later.
Yeah, that is definitely one that we go down the ages. But we are seeing Swag not too far behind Walter actually, because he's doing really well on the gauntlet.
And the thing that's going to keep him back at this point is going to be that Master Sword on Ganon. He's going to have to do a lot of spins to get through to the last phase. Luckily, the most time-consuming part, doing the last phase with spins, isn't going to be a problem for him because he's got the silvers, but Master Sword Ganon, even with silvers, is still annoying, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are joined by the winner, Walter. How are you feeling?
Okay, so it's 10 minutes delay on the stream, right? So I've been relaxing for 10 minutes and my heart is still beating like a drum solo. I can't believe I managed to win that in the end. I wanted to forfeit as soon as I got the gloves or the mids, but I was like, nah, I'll keep on playing and forfeit as soon as Swaga finishes.
I think because flippers were on bumper cave ledge, that was what made you win this.
Yeah, that ended up being like about the boots. So it's like I need to get those boots because I like. That's definitely one of my outs, trying to see if there's anything on there. But even still, after I got that, like I still just felt like I was like, I have to do every single gamble I can think of, like try and cut corners wherever I can, because I just felt so incredibly behind the entire race.
Yeah, one of those gambles were going into Mafla with basically only 4 hearts, and but you did that perfectly, but.
Yeah, I knew Hammer was back there, so I was definitely gonna head in there no matter what. And it felt like I just had to take like damage boost and like not stop for a lot of safeties too often, because just like try and make up time. It could have ended up costing me time if I like was sloppy and took it F or something, but I just felt like I had to do
it's actually
basically anything I can.
It's actually quite incredible how that early aghanim actually really played out in your favor with the hints about the hammer, and of course the flippers being on the bumper ledge.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
But yeah, I think everyone in the chat, including me and my co-commentator, were grieving very hard when we realized that you missed mitts.
Yeah, I can imagine. So was I when I realized it, I guess. I was like so stopped after doing Agina because I was like, no, there's nothing else I can do. I was like, well, the only explanation would be me skipping something early.
It's like one of those checks that if you've left it behind by mistake and you don't realize you've left it behind by mistake, it would normally, like in most scenarios, it would cost you the race, and it feels absolutely horrible. So it's pretty much a stroke of luck that you've been able to pull off the win regardless.
Yeah, I was like, as soon as I found it, I was like, no, there's no way. But at the same time, I've seen crazier stuff happen in randomizers, so I was like, well, at the very least I can try. Especially since we're like, this is a team race, so I was like, no, I can definitely not forfeit for my 2 teammates. I definitely need to try at least.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also actually that the fact that you did decide to do fake flipper, because I think you did that generally because you were thinking a bit where can my progression be, that you find out the mirror on Sora Ledge also gave you a very big advantage.
Yeah, like right after I did what's it called, the lumberjack and the boots location, so I was actually gonna sequence break the mirror, but then since I got the cape, I was like, well, let's check upper cape first, I guess.
One other thing actually that did make you up time was that how many times did the swag end up dying in Mire?
I think it was at least 3 times he died in Maya. He was going into it with like 6 hearts and bloom mail, and he was having horrible problems in the dark rooms, just getting hit by random stuff. And I don't think he actually struggled too much in Fidget itself because he had the silver arrows already. So Fidget was just to avoid the lightning with 1 heart left and job done. But he died a lot on the way there.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's...
And then you also struggle a bit to the Moth as well, and Trineck. So yeah, that was basically what made you came back into it. And the fact that he have only Master Sword, he doesn't have Tempered yet, but I saw that he told you that in the race chat. Speaking of Master Sword, we see right now that basically he's doing it right now. He's down to 1 heart, so he's gonna be super careful. He has 1 blow potion, but I imagine he wants to save it to phase 4. Ooh, that fire bat was very close, and he hugs one of the bats. But yeah, 7 minutes menu time with how the seed was. That is, I would definitely say that's good.
Yeah, I think half of that is me checking my menu screen, being like, where should I go?
Yeah.
Luckily, it was Kakariko, which is like one of the locations you first go to when you're thinking, okay, it's time to re-clear everything I've done because I've clearly missed something.
Yeah.
Oh, I was corrected. He had already used the blue potion, actually. Yeah, sorry. Continue.
No, I'm just stressed after this. But, well. Sometimes you gotta be lucky, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just like heartbreaking to see you miss the chest earlier. We didn't even realize it at the time because it was marked on your tracker. So we thought he'd gone in the room. We had seen the bomb open the wall, but he'd never gone in to pick up the chest. So, in fact, one of my biggest worries was when he started doing your rechecks, was thinking, "Oh, I've already bombed this wall. I've already opened this chest. I don't need to go in there again." But luckily, he did double check as well, and then he back of Blind's hut, so and then saw that chest, and then yeah.
Yeah, because at that point it's like it's not worth it to be like, no, I'm pretty sure I did this, because like I was pretty sure I did everything, so I just had to like double check. Okay, well, this was crazy, and I'm not sure if fun is the right word, but it's stressful at least.
I think it could have been a bit more fun if he had gone about it in like the correct way, let's say.
Yeah,
a bit of
it could have been a really good seed.
Slight unforced errors here, but
yeah, like some few adjustments, it could have been a really good seed. It's crazy. There's nothing on the mountain whatsoever.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Be something.
Critical lack of bottles too. Like those pendants actually helped you out because you got a free blue potion with a bottle and then a sword afterwards. And Swag's now doing Ganon with that, because he didn't do the pendants, because there was no need for him to do so, because he got that hooked up much earlier.
I got the sword was
he was looking for the mirror instead, but
yeah. But yeah, my other teammate, his race actually just started, so I think I'm gonna drop out and just check his game. But thanks for commentating and getting the restream done.
Yeah, make sure to give Walter a follow after that one. He definitely needs it. Show him some love with a follow.
Thanks, guys. Catch you later.
See ya.
take it easy.
At least Swag is. At least he wants to finish this. At least so that's nice to see. Yeah, he doesn't have his blue potion left that he bought earlier, so gonna have to be a lot of careful.
He does have a ton of cash, so if he wanted to, he could just buy another potion. But only one bottle. Like this has been the driest seed on bottles I've ever seen. To see
absolutely.
To see luck, we got 2 by that. And the being a bottle was on the right side of Ganon's tab, wasn't it? So if he'd gone left side first, he could have gone up to Ganon with 0 bottles potentially.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, if you're stuck with a Master Sword on and having to do spin strats, it's a really rough prospect having no bottles.
Yeah, the good thing though is that he has silver, so once you get into the 4th phase, it will get a little bit easier for him.
Yeah, he's got to get the spin on Ganon as soon as well, when he manifests, you just have to spin Ganon to get him to turn blue, and then he can plug Sylvanas into him as normal. If you don't have a Sylvanas at all, you'd have to do spins on him whilst he's teleporting away, so he takes damage without freezing. And that is very, very time consuming. Fortunately, Swag is taking quite a few deaths here, so it's practice for him at least.
Yeah, and that was actually 3rd phase. He was able to make it into that, but died by one of the bats. But yeah, as you said, progress. Progress is important. But yeah, just as I said earlier to Walter, make sure you give Swag a follow after this.
I think, if anything, playing in a racing environment like this and seeing, maybe going back on the VOD afterwards and seeing where you would have fallen behind is it's a good way to see where you need to brush up on your practice and such. Like, the thing that's been clear to me is that swaga1icous isn't really comfortable with dungeons unless he has like a lot of items going into them. So if you're doing things like 7 Hearts Mothula, then yeah, that's really nasty and can cause issues. If you're doing 7 Heart Vitreous, then that can also cause issues, especially if you don't have the comfort of Sylvanas, but instead you're stuck with merely a fighter sword and bombs or anything else and limited equipment like that.
Hey, some really smart guys say that you learn more from losses than victories.
So Swag takes another death, but he's going back in there. He's determined to finish this out. And he knows he can. He just needs to be able to pull it off just one try.
Yeah. One thing I actually want to see him do right now is go buy his potion, then save and quit. Because if he would die on Ganon and lose his big potion, he can just hard reset and get it back basically. Because he would spawn at top of the pyramid, because he did clear Aga.
I think at this point, I believe he's probably seen the dot done in IRC and knows that he can go back to get some potions. He's not like competing for first place anymore because he knows he's going to be in second, so he can afford to dip out and get a potion and go back in on Ganon.
Yeah, absolutely. I just said one thing that he could do to possibly speed it up a little bit if he wanted to. And generally a tip to the people listening and watching.
Now, I can't help but think that Ganon complaining about the lack of food is some kind of meta commentary on the lack of bottles in the seed.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be a pretty nasty potion if you had to like eat it instead of like drink it, but you know, you do what you must for health and magic.
Well, if the potion is some kind of soup, then you would eat a few bits of it.
The red potion I could see, that could be like tomato soup, and the green potion could be like pea soup or something, but the blue potion, what would that be?
I would say that I think the green potion would actually be some kind of broccoli soup. Yeah, the blue potion. I would say some type of fish. I am trying to think. I am really a cook in my spare time, but I can't think up of any blue soups.
I think the only blue soup I'd know of would be the one that gives you food poisoning.
Oh, I found one here. It's apparently potato leek soup is blue.
Potato and leek?
Yeah.
I do not believe that.
Apparently, it's according to the picture I just took up.
Getting back on topic, swaga1icous is still in phase 2 on Ganon here, but he's playing carefully for fire bats, using the hookshot when he wants to dodge them. He did use his blue potion to get a bit of mid-phase recovery, but takes another hit there.
Yeah, one hit away from gaining another death here. He's in phase 3 though.
Gotta be careful that spinning fire bat though. As long as you're getting a hit on Ganon quickly, then there's going to be no bats. So yeah, they've got an extra bat there because the hit was a little slow.
Yeah, the first thing that can happen is that he does it 2 times in a row so that the fire starts overlapping. Then it can be really hard dodging it. But he hits in phase 4 at least.
Swag's not going for an early hit, he's just going straight for the poison glitch, which is understandable.
Oh, nice use of the blue cane there to dodge the damage. So basically, to trigger his phase where you can shoot silvers at him, you will have to do a spin before he shows his attack. And that can be quite hard to time in. Especially when you're low on health. It could be a little bit dangerous walking so close to him. Went for double hit, didn't get it though. You have to lit the torch again. There we go, just one more silver. there we go. The double to finish it off. Make sure to give your love to swaga1icous. His persistence has been really rewarding for him here. And he got some really good practice in as well. He's gonna come in with an official SRL time. 2 hours, 25 minutes and 10 seconds. GG.
And he's giving us some fast forward credits for our viewing pleasure. But yeah, kudos to him for his persistence in his seed. So we'll see if we can get him in for an interview.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I saw 10 minutes of menu time there. It was really hard to see though. But yeah, let's see if he comes in for an interview. But yeah, let's talk a bit here while we wait to see if he's gonna come in. What's your thought about the seed?
I never want to see a cape behind Aghanim again. I'll take double worlds on Laser Bridge over cape behind Aghanim. Like, one of the first races I ever commentated was double worlds on Laser Bridge. I'd rather see that again than cape behind Aghanim. Ooh, that was rough on the old heart.
Yeah, absolutely. That is one thing to say for certain. For you guys wondering, yes, there could be double rods on Laser Bridge, but the key layout has been perfect then at that point, unfortunately. But yeah, it can happen.
We've got Swag in the Twitch chat at the moment, so he says he's got no mic, so he can't do an interview. But if you want to say anything about the seed in chat, by all means, please do so, Swag. In fact, let's start off if you want to write that stuff down. What were your thoughts on this seed?
Considering how the logic is it's never nice to have to do AGA in my mind, but yeah, you could get a really early information about that you needed to do AGA. Yeah, so in that way, I don't mind it too much. But yeah, for how we saw how both our runners decided to go through this seed, I can definitely see that you could say that this was a really bad seed. But yeah, you could have eliminated all of that through basically just getting some information about the different locations. So apparently, when reading here, he did see that the cape was on Lumberjack early, but he hoped that it wasn't anything special. I would say that if you would see something like that early, something like that could be that important on Lumberjack, that you should probably check to make sure it isn't anything special. That might be only me though. Yeah, anyway, we are gonna wrap it up here. Yeah, so just look at the schedule, what's coming up later tonight or later today for you guys in the US. So, as we said, going on right now on Speed Gaming 2, we have the second match between Old swaga1icous and Rush Nintendo Swag. The runners there are Mark and Siphant and LG Min. So that is bound to be a good one as well. Going on Speed Gaming 1 right now is currently Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Highlander. It will be another Zelda 1. There will be a Zelda 1 Randomizer starting in about 20 minutes on Speed Gaming 3. Later on Speed Gaming 1 in about basically, try to count a little bit quick in my head here, 1 hour and 20 minutes. It is the daily race for the Randomizer is boiler open, so that one should be good. On Speed Gaming 4 we have Zelda 2 Randomizer weekly race, so that one will be good. And there's another Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Highlander after the daily race for Randomizer on Speed Gaming. And in about 2 hours and 40 minutes is a Third Dream on Speed Gaming 2. That one should be good as well. And that's the schedule for the rest of the day.
Yeah, and obviously we also have more league races going on throughout the whole of the week, so do make sure to check them out. The first week was absolutely fantastic. We had some really great races there, and the second week should be... I haven't seen the other races in the second week so far, so I should be checking out the VODs probably later tonight and see how they are. But the league's shaping up to be excellent so far, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it.
Yeah, generally looking at the standings, there's only one team who is undefeated at this point, and that is over at the Lake Hylia group, which is Fedrana Drifters. So yeah, who's congrats to them right now. But yeah, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. Thanks so much to Speed Gaming for hosting this tournament. Thanks so much to our tracker today, which was Cool Papa Bell 2282. He has done an amazing job tracking this race. Thanks so much to both swaga1icous and oh my god, I just got a brain fart, sorry.
Walter.
Yeah, Walter for putting up an amazing race for us. They are doing a better job than me, basically. And thank you guys so much for you guys watching in chat. My name is Angels. That was Revolting Ocelot, and we are signing out.
Good night. And I'm not voting.